Alright, you guys, we need to talk about what's going down in Brazil right now because Lady Gaga pulled up and the monsters are losing it. Now, before you come for me, I'm not calling her fans monsters. That's actually what Lady Gaga calls her fans, the little monsters. But her fans in Brazil are getting called out all over social media because people think they are losing it, you guys. I'm talking full-on screaming, crying, shaking outside her hotel, begging her to come out so that they can meet her. It's honestly giving 2010 Tumblr stan energy, but on steroids. Let's unpack the chaos because some people are calling it unhinged and others are like, no babe, this is just Brazilian passion. So what's really going on? So Lady Gaga recently made the decision to go to Brazil for the first time in over a decade, and of course her fans are ecstatic. She's set to perform a monumental free concert titled Mayhem on the Beach on Saturday at Copacabana Beach in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. This event marks her return to Brazil after a 13-year hiatus, with her last performance being in 2012 during the Born This Way ball tour. She was previously scheduled to perform at Rock in Rio in 2017, but she did have to cancel due to health issues. Now, Lady Gaga did express her excitement about the upcoming performance, but I don't know if she was expecting all of this. Maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. But before we get into the clips, here was what she had to say. She goes, "It's a great honor to be asked to sing for Rio. For my whole career, the fans in Brazil have been part of the lifeblood of the Little Monsters. I've been dying to come perform for you for years and was heartbroken when I had to cancel years ago because I was hospitalized. Your understanding that I needed that time to heal meant the world to me. I am now coming back and I feel better than ever, and I am working so hard to make sure this show is one you will never forget. Get ready for Mayhem on the Beach." I mean, it sounds fun for sure. Now again, it's only May 2nd, so Lady Gaga is not scheduled to perform for about another day, but her fans have been eager to see her anyway. I mean, as you could expect, imagine not seeing your favorite artist when you were supposed to see her for years on end, and it's just all this excitement bundled up and you're just ready to release it. That's what I'm getting from these clips, but others are just like, this is totally unhinged, that there's no way you can justify this, and they think that these people are literally worshipping these celebrities at this point, and that a line just has to be drawn at some point. All I can hope for after seeing these videos is that Lady Gaga got some rest that night, though it didn't seem likely, with hundreds of fans apparently invading her privacy, screaming, crying outside her hotel, begging on their knees, screaming at the top of their lungs for her to come out of her hotel to meet them.
Gaga! 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 Gaga!
As I mentioned, for many of her most loyal fans in Brazil, simply waiting for the show that she was going to perform in a few days wasn't enough. In scenes that can only be described as both devoted and slightly unhinged, according to some people, hundreds of fans gathered outside Gaga's hotel. They were running, desperate for a glimpse, a wave, or even a smile from their pop icon. In the days leading up to the concert, crowds began to form outside, and some were wondering how Lady Gaga was even going to sleep for these next few nights. But the crowds didn't let up all night. It got to the point where Lady Gaga's fiance, Michael, briefly poked his head out the window, and you guys, look how tall this building is, but her fiance barely poked out his head. Here is just a slightly zoomed in shot, and even then you can hardly tell it's him, but it is him. I just can't imagine what's going on in his mind seeing all of this, but he was probably just trying to check if the crowd had calmed down a bit, which of course it hadn't. There was also this clip going around where apparently someone was so riled up that they didn't get a greeting.
Cuidado de você! Para de show! Uma já foi embora! Lady Gaga, desce! Tem show logo mais na Pique Flamengo! Pietra Park dando show! Vai ficar aí não!
Now, despite the chaos, this is honestly so nice of Lady Gaga. She decided to show her appreciation, and she had her team hand out about 53 pizzas to the fans outside, which is being reported that she spent around $1,000. It was just so chaotic and hectic. There were so many people. I would just feel so claustrophobic, but you can see that the pizzas were being handed out in napkins. But a lot of people also felt as though that was such a nice gesture of her to go out of her way to get pizza for her fans while they were camping outside waiting for her. I mean, I've been seeing videos where it's being said that people were waiting for upwards of 14 hours outside of her hotel just to be able to get a glance at her. It's safe to say the Brazilian fans really go all out, and I honestly can't wait to see what happens on May 3rd when she finally takes the stage. I just know it's going to be intense. It's going to be massive. There is probably going to be like hundreds of thousands of people there at the minimum. But all over TikTok, people just couldn't turn a blind eye to her fans' behavior, specifically in Brazil. TikTok, you had people saying things like, this would send Chapel into a coma. If you know, you know. Chapel has came forward many times on social media talking about her boundaries when it comes to her fans, how she doesn't like when her fans are all up in her space and things like that. This is why she made Paparazzi, which is one of Lady Gaga's viral songs. Help, that's so scary. Celebrity culture and parasocial relationships are so disturbing. This is so cultish, it's scary. Celebrities are not our friends and are in fact our enemies. Up versus the down people, but y'all are sheep. They low-key need to get a grip. This is too much. Let her live. If I were her, I'd cancel any shows there out of spite. And it continues all over social media, even on Twitter specifically. You had people saying things like, people act like celebrities are gods and not humans like them. Doja Cat and Chapel Roan were right. Now, while some people felt like the behavior was abnormal and completely unhinged, others saw it differently. They explained that in Brazil, it's much harder to see their favorite artists, as international tours there are rare and often years apart. You had many people commenting things like, are Brazilians okay? Brazilian fans of any artist are intense. Chill, if they don't let her shower and nap, I'd be staying inside too. Dang, can't she even just wave from the terrace? I feel like her fans would go even more berserk if she did that. But tons of people were responding, being like, this is why they're going crazy. Few artists were there, so when a big star like Lady Gaga finally have a gig, people go crazy. People have waited a decade for this, so their excitement goes through the roof. Sure, some fans are a bit too much, but not every fan is like that. Brazilians don't play when it comes to their fandoms. Some artists will literally have thousands of comments in only Portuguese. They really support their faves. Artists should show them more love. Some of her fans even dressed in elaborate costumes mimicking Lady Gaga's most iconic looks, turning the scene into a bizarre mix of fan tribute. I mean, there was this clip, for example, at the Brazil airport, I'm assuming before Lady Gaga arrived. It comes to no shock that Lady Gaga's fans in Brazil have definitely kept the flame alive, trending hashtags year after year, begging for her return and reminiscing about past performances that, for many, believe it or not, remain life-defining moments. The decade-long absence didn't cool their passion, it only intensified it. Lady Gaga herself has yet to publicly comment on the hotel incident, but I do wonder what she was thinking in that very moment when all this uproar was going on. Obviously, at the end of the day, it was out of love, but I guess some people are not okay with it, being like, you guys are just intruding on her privacy, and they genuinely felt like Lady Gaga did not sleep for a few days. But let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments down below. I love you guys so much, and as always, I'll see y'all in the next video.